Ever feel like life's just one endless race? Let's just say you're speeding through, overtaking or dodging people ahead of you, trying to slow you down, or trying not to crash. But no matter how hard you try, sometimes something always knocks you off track, whether it be a distraction, like you zoned out mid race, or dirty air that you didn't expect, or it be maybe a problem with the setup or the car, which is, outside of your control and you just have to deal with it. Or sometimes you wish you had a race engineer that could have just helped you avoid some dumb mistakes. I think we've all been there. And that was me. And one day it hit me. What if this life, just like a race, wasn't meant to be run alone? I grew up hearing about Jesus, but I kept him kind of in the back seat. I was one of those doom scrollers and had not much to look forward to in life. And then my life kind of hit a wall. I finally prayed, like actually talked to God, like not religious stuff, like just real, like you would have a convo with your dad kind of thing. And slowly things changed ever since I opened the Bible. My attitude changed, my perspective of life changed, my hope changed. I went from being scared to die to being excited for that day to come, and not to sound suicidal or anything. But when you learn about Jesus, it absolutely shocks you how much there is to know about life. And what the average human pictures heaven to be isn't actually how heaven is. Most people would think that heaven is a place that's very white and we're flying and there's a whole bunch of angels and stuff. That's not heaven. This earth was actually meant to be heaven, but because of Adam and Eve, which some of you might see it as a fairy tale fictional, but hear this. When you learn to understand it, you realize the impact it actually had on this world, and you learn that it wasn't actually a fairy tale, even though it's made out to be that now. That's how people see it, but it came from what was actually historical. But in short, think about your best memory here on earth. And times that by a billion. And picture that as being your entire life. And think about the fact that you live in a place very similar to this earth, without sicknesses, diseases, or evil. And you get to recognize people. And you have your own physical home, like legit actual home that you live in. And you have the same 5 senses you have here on earth. You get to eat, talk, walk, breathe, and smell, feel. Things are tangible. That's heaven. And that's pretty cool, isn't it? I hated reading books for pretty much my whole life, but the Bible made me want to actually read books more often, even though there's no other book that is as insightful as the Bible. And some of you might not believe it to be true, the Bible, but there's more evidence of its legitimacy than there is about any other religious book, or the evidence of evolution or the world created from nothing. There's actually more evidence that points to the Bible being trustworthy. That's what led me to read it and actually learn a lot from this world. So, guys, all of this is to say that I'm not perfect, but different. I have peace instead of pressure in this life. I have purpose instead of panic in life. And if you ever thought about this God or Jesus stuff, if it ever came to mind, give it a shot. It doesn't cost anything to ask, but it costs your soul to not care about it. I would be much happier knowing that there was nothing after this earth, but still having this belief in God and just kind of having a relationship with Jesus, than to go about my life not caring about anything, only to find out that this stuff was actually real and having to pay the consequences. So I thought of this video simply because of my love for you guys. I think that I'm growing in audience, and I would like you guys to know this as I'm, posting racing videos. So yeah, that was very short and brief. I just hope you guys get to just think about this stuff whenever you have some free time. I'm still racing. There's gonna be videos, of course, but now I know who's leading.